Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you guys a story about this crackhead. About this young, beautiful mother that wouldn't do a thing, that wouldn't hurt a fly. And she was just the best mother on earth, and she loved her children into eternity, until I guess one day she didn't. But I want to tell you guys a story about this alleged mother. Let's talk about this out of Michigan. When police responded to a little girl's body having been found in a trash bag in northern Michigan, they went looking for the child's mother, 22-year-old Justine, the letter M as in Mary, Johnson. Justine M. Johnson. Why this girl doesn't look like Justine Johnson. She looked like Justine M. Bison. In the face, my Lord. That woman looked like she done had a hard knock life for us. She's had a hard knock life for us. Wow. 22 could have fooled me. Let me get a clearer picture of her back up on the screen. Even this picture right here. Even this one still looks like, damn, she look at least a good 43. Boy, I don't know what y'all drinking in that water in Michigan, but damn it, man. Y'all need to clean y'all water supply. Eventually finding Johnson walking along some rural railroad tracks, they broke the news to her that her child had been killed. I want y'all to catch this. In response, her response, the mother seemed to have no reaction. You know how we talk about fake tears, no emotion? This is going to be one of those stories. So I'm going to warn you guys. I'm going to say some things that are not going to sit well with your sensibilities, some things that might make you upset. So if you can't handle that, I understand. That is your disclaimer. You might need to leave this video. We're also going to talk about some details that are going to be very hard to listen to about what happened to this little girl, okay? The mother seemed to have no reaction. I said emotion reaction together. Appearing unmoved by the news of her dead daughter. Within a few days, Johnson would be charged with murder, accused of repeatedly stabbing her 3-year-old daughter to death. That beautiful little girl. These details and more are contained in a statement and a support of a warrant acquired by the news from Iosco or Lasco County District Court. I'm not sure what that is. The 2-page document states that about 3:50 a.m. on Friday, September 17th, not that long ago, about a week ago, the 2 Oscoda Township police officers responded to a residence in the 5400 block of Cedar Lake Road after a 23-year-old brother of Johnson's, the mother, called 911 to report found a human foot jutting out of a black garbage bag. She treated this child like trash. Why do we have so many stories of people murdering children and throwing them in garbage bags and throwing them in dumpsters and stuff? That's not mental illness. That's not mental illness at all. That's stupidity. That's hatefulness. You guys know I have a hashtag called #BabiesForBenefits. I'm going to tell you guys about that in just a moment. We're going to get there. Found this baby's body, foot jutting out of a black garbage bag. On inspecting the bag, the officers found the body of that little girl, that baby right there. Her name is Sutton M. Mosser, Mosser, Sutton, Sutton. Sutton Mosser, 3 years old. Beautiful little girl. Her body had been wrapped in bedding, and the trash bag itself had been placed in a blue plastic tote, according to documents. Sutton's body was wrapped in only a pink and white disposable diaper. Wow. Officers interviewed Johnson's brother, who called 911, as well as a 17-year-old brother. The younger brother said he awoke about 6 p.m. on September 16th, went to the bathroom, and found his sister using drugs. When the teen asked Johnson where Sutton was, she told him to mind your effing business. The reason why that hurts me so much, because y'all haven't seen the video yet. I'm about to show the news videos. The reason why that bothers me so much is because of what this woman says in her interview, which is the mother's mother. That's the grandmother. And it's going to really mess with y'all when y'all hear how she describes her own daughter. Okay? We'll get back to that here in a moment. The brother took a shower, and on exiting it, he noticed Johnson was no longer in the house. He told police. The teen brother left the house to visit a girl, returning home to the Cedar Lake address about 10:30 p.m., he said. His sister was still not there, he said. The older brother told police he arrived home around 3:30 a.m. on September 17th, finding only his younger brother there. The younger man told his older brother that he had found a human foot sticking through a trash bag, prompting them to search the area for their sister. The older brother became extremely upset and called 911. The police found Johnson about 8:50 a.m. walking on the Lake State Railway tracks north of Vaughn Trail. They took her to headquarters and tried to interview her. A detective sergeant told Johnson her daughter had been found dead. Y'all need to catch this. Justine Johnson, the mother, gave no reaction to the news of her daughter being deceased, and she appeared unemotional. The detective noted that Justine Johnson remained unemotional and calm, and advised him that she did not wish to talk about the death of her daughter. That's weird, and that's odd. The Michigan State Police Forensic Science Laboratory technician team, that is a long description, processed the scene and noted Sutton had been stabbed multiple times. In the trash bag with Sutton were a sweatshirt with a pair of size 11 women's pants with a notable amount of blood on the latter. During her interview with the police, the mother said she wore size 11 pants, the document states. Both of Johnson's brothers identified the sweatshirt found with Sutton's body as belonging to Johnson, the mother, adding she was wearing it on September 16th, according to documents. Johnson, the mother, on Monday, September 20th, was arraigned on charges of felony murder and first-degree child abuse. Both charges are life offenses. So I believe they got that right. Let me see. The county prosecutor, James Barcarella, said that his office does not have a theory on Johnson's motive. But I actually do. I have a theory. How many of you guys actually want to hear what my theory is? And I believe it's actually going to be spot on. I don't think the mother is ever going to give us a real theory, what the real story is. But I have a perfect theory that I believe is actually airtight. If y'all want to hear it, let me know. By the way, if you guys are listening to this story, please make sure you guys click that thumbs up. Please help me out. Click that thumbs up so it can help share this story and let more people know that we're talking about this, okay? Please. But I do have a theory. Contacted by the news, a cousin of Johnson's declined to comment on the case, saying that the family is grieving and is not ready to discuss the matter publicly. Johnson's mother also declined to be interviewed and asked reporters to no longer contact her, even though she gave a video interview. I want y'all to bookmark that. We'll come back to it. She declined to talk, but she did an interview on camera. Go figure. In a prior interview with the news, Johnson's mother said that her daughter loved Sutton with all of her heart. She never let it. You're gonna see it, but I'm gonna read it anyway. She said she never let anybody hurt that baby. She was always there for her, and she never did anything to hurt her. Johnson's mother told the news, adding she believes her daughter is innocent in Sutton's homicide. But I want y'all to remember that the mother's clothing was found in the trash bag. She had no emotion to the news of her daughter being dead. And also, it is in the documents, of court documents, that her own brothers asked her where the baby was, and her response was, mind your effing business. That's how she responded to them asking where that little bitty baby was. That alone should be a life sentence in itself. Now, Johnson is being held with zero bond. Her case is scheduled for a preliminary examination at 10 a.m. on October the 12th, right around the corner. But I want you guys to hear the news interview before I give my thoughts, and I'm going to tell you guys what my theory is.
She was full of life. She was...
I'm going to tell you guys what my theory is after I show you guys the news videos. So here we go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, here we go.
Bring her 3-year-old grand.
She was full of life. She was very smart. She knew so many colors. She could count almost to 30.
Elisa Johnson, remembering her 3-year-old granddaughter, Sutton Mosser, as a beautiful and bright young girl who could put a smile on anyone's face. The two were close.
I wasn't grandmother, I was grandmom. The baby loved me more than anything. She was so close to me. She always waited for me to come home from work.
Johnson tells TV5 she was downstate when she learned about Sutton's death. The details devastating. The young girl had suffered multiple stab wounds to her chest. Her body had been found in a trash bag Friday morning at a home on Cedar Lake Road in Oscoda Township, where she lived with her grandmom and mother, Justine Johnson.
I broke down. I told him, tell me it's not true, that I needed to get to my baby, that this couldn't be happening.
Certainly there have been homicides in our county previously. I don't know of any where it involved a young child.
Prosecuting attorney James Baccarella calling the case shocking. He's charging Sutton's mother with homicide, felony murder, and child abuse in the first degree.
The homicide charge is a charge that carries a maximum term of life in prison without parole. And then first degree child abuse also carries a life term, but the parent or the party would be eligible for parole.
Johnson pleading not guilty. Her mother tells TV5 3-year-old Sutton meant everything to her daughter.
Justine loved Sutton with all her heart. She never let anybody hurt that baby. She was always there for her.
Y'all hear what the grandmother said? She is disrespecting the memory of her granddaughter and making herself look like a damn fool. I want y'all to listen at this again. She's talking about her daughter who's been accused of murdering her own grandbaby in the worst way possible. And this is what she says. She defends her daughter. She don't believe her daughter did it. Listen at this.
Tells TV5 3-year-old Sutton meant everything to her daughter.
Justine loved Sutton with all her heart. She never let anybody hurt that baby. She was always there for her. She never did anything to hurt her.
She believes her daughter is innocent.
I want to say she loved Sutton with all her heart. She never let anybody hurt that baby. She was always there for her.
So here is the $1 Million Jeopardy question. Who did it then? Who would have hurt her daughter? Who did it then? The boogeyman? Did the Loch Ness Monster do it? Did Bigfoot do it? Was it a ghost from Ghostbusters? Who did it then? But you have all the evidence pointing at the mother, including her own freaking clothing, her own freaking nonchalantness about the news of her daughter being dead, and the own testimony of her own brothers about her wording, talking about don't effing worry about it. It's none of your effing business. Like, come on. You know all of that and you still say, well, I don't believe my daughter did it. You're dumb, ma'am. You're quite dumb. Quite dumb. That's a special level of dumb.
She never did anything to hurt her.
She believes her daughter is innocent.
I want a fair investigation for my child. I want my granddaughter to have the proper justice.
I'm Jamie Sherrod,
First at 6, a horrific story out of Iosco County continues to unfold as
You're asking where's the biological father? Oh ho! I got a theory about that too. We call that don't jump the gun. JG, don't jump the gun. We're gonna get back there. Hold on. Where's the biological father? I have a theory about that too as to why she did this.
First at 6, a horrific story out of Iosco County continues to unfold as the mother of a 3-year-old girl is charged for the child's murder. Friday night, we told you someone reported they saw a human foot protruding from a garbage bag at a home in Escoda Township.
When police arrived, they found the 3-year-old child dead. And Terry, the mother was charged today. Any reason for why this happened?
No, not at this time. 22-year-old Justine Johnson faces 2 criminal charges, including felony murder. She's being held on no bond, accused of a crime that has shaken the entire community.
It just don't make sense.
Oscoda Township Police believe 22-year-old Justine Johnson stabbed her 3-year-old daughter to death. The child's body was at a home along Cedar Lake Road where Johnson stayed with her grandmother. An affidavit indicates a brother of Johnson's found a black garbage bag with a foot protruding from it and called 911 at around 4 o'clock Friday morning. Johnson was not at the home where her daughter's body was found, and the affidavit indicates police officers found her 4.5 hours later, walking on railroad tracks in Oscoda Township. She was questioned but told the officers she did not want to talk about the death of her child.
It's a shock. You know, I've been here a long time, and this is the first time I heard this since the 70s.
Martin Gajewski owns the F41 laundromat across the road from the home. He says police asked to see some of the company's security camera video.
She was a customer here. I know who she was. It shocked me because she didn't seem that kind of a person. But
the affidavit indicates one of Johnson's brothers asked Justine Johnson where her child was on Thursday, the day before the child's body was found. Police wrote she told the brother to mind his business. Justine Johnson faces homicide and child abuse charges.
It's unusual to have something like this in a town like this. It's a pretty close-knit community.
Johnson pled not guilty on both charges. She will have a probable cause hearing on this case on the 29th. And again, she's being held without bond.
Okay. For all of you guys who are ready for my theory, I hope you got your boxers and your pennies strapped on real tight for this one. I have a theory. Would you guys like to hear it? Like to hear it? Here it go. I don't know if you guys caught this in the story, but from what I understand, based on what I read, I could be wrong, but I believe this is to be correct information. It sounded like the mother of this little girl was living with her mother. She was living with the grandmother. Did y'all catch that? Let me tell you guys something. When it comes to being an adult, having to either live at home or move back home is a very disheartening thing, especially when you know that you should be able to be out on your own and you feel like you're a dysfunctional person. It can be depressing when life sometimes puts its foot up in your behind, in your rear end, and breaks it off in there. it could be a depressing thing to go through. So if she was living with her mother, even with no kid, that alone could potentially pose a risk that she could be going through something very deep and very emotional. That's point number one. Point number two, she has no husband. She has no fiance. She has no boyfriend. Where's the biological father at? You hear no mention of a biological father, let alone a man that will be willing to put her up in his home or to help them get a home together. So she had no support. And just like a lot of women in America nowadays, because we have a lot of children outside of the social construct called wedlock, we just be out here screwing and making kids. Screwing and making kids with no plan of how to take care of them. And when that man is not there to support them, then it makes the choices for that mother even more difficult, because the bride probably wasn't even able to take care of herself. And I want y'all to remember, she's not that old. Let me see if I can find her age again. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find Justine. Just like the last story. Wow. 22 years old. 22 years old and emotional. Stuck at home with your own mom. You've been living in your mom's house this whole time. Now you got a baby. No man. Your mom probably don't have a man. All of that estrogen in that house can probably be an overwhelming thing. All I'm doing is pointing to things that probably caused her to snap. Next point. I want y'all to imagine what that must feel like and what she was probably thinking when she thought that she could have this baby and collect the benefits off of this kid. And what do we call that? Hashtag, and somebody called it in the chat, babies for benefits. So y'all see that a lot of mothers, not all, hashtag not all, but a lot of mothers who have children outside of wedlock tend to get benefits. Oh, like Section 8, like child support, like food stamps, like the, what is that thing that they got? Stimulus checks. They're getting extra money off of stimulus checks. The more kids you have, the more stimulus money you get. So you have to stimulate yourself to have sex to produce kids. And then when you produce kids that you ain't got no husband with, no stability with, then they stimulate you by just giving you free checks. Huh? That's a wild thing. And in a lot of cases, child support, control over a man. So I want y'all to imagine what that must be like if she was getting none of those things. She looky like a druggie. She looked like a dope fiend, does she not? She was probably high as shit when they arrested her. Your daughter died, ma'am. She was stabbed a bunch of times in the chest. They found her wrapped up in a plastic bag, ma'am, in the trash can. Stupid is as stupid thugs. Stupid is as stupid drugs. How about that? Stupid is as stupid drugs. Hashtag, when you date hillbillies, you date death. Woo! Boy, I know that one's gonna hurt. That one's gonna hurt in the morning. Imagine how she feels when she's getting no benefits, no Section 8, no food stamps, no child support, no stimulus, no man. And you stuck living at home with your mama with a baby? What I'm saying is that she was so selfish because she was selfish enough to bring this child into this world with no plan, no course of action for this kid. So she already was only thinking about herself, being selfish. So because she's selfish, she realized that this daughter, oh crap, I got to take care of her. She is my responsibility. I don't want this responsibility anymore. So what did she do? She snapped and did the most selfish, messed up thing that you could do and take that anger out on your kid when you're really just mad at your damn self for being a freaking failure in life. That's who she's really mad at. And I think it makes her a bully and a bitch. A bully and a bitch to take it out on the smallest, most innocent, most defenseless person possible. Your own child. That little angel never stood a chance against her own mother. The tyranny of her own mother. That baby deserved an opportunity to grow up and become something great. And this is also why I encourage people. This ain't mental illness. These are just flat out bad choices that people are making. When you create humans, these humans are going to depend on you, which is why you need to raise them so that they can become independent, so they don't need you anymore once they grow up and they can go into life, learn to be responsible, and then reproduce that cycle. Produce kids that can go out into the world and take care of themselves and continue the cycle, continue the process. It is a horrible thing for us not to call out this reckless sexual behavior. Sex is what's getting us to this point. We care more about sex than we do about kids. We care more about our own personal pleasure than we do about what is going to result from that pleasure. There are consequences to every action, and you can't love sex and drugs that damn much and not realize, why don't you just be responsible? There's a thing called birth control, pills, get your tubes tied. Just don't have sex then. It's a choice. We are forcing our decisions on these children. These children deserve better. They deserve better examples. They deserve better parents. Matter of fact, they deserve better grandparents. Why she's talking about, I know that she didn't do that to her kid. She loved her kid more than that. I know my daughter would never do that to this baby. Ma'am, they have her on first-degree fucking murder. Usually, when they get somebody on first-degree murder and child abuse, they have a hell of a lot of evidence against this person to say that these are the proper charges. We have the proper evidence, and this is going to be a slam dunk case. Open and shut. I'm confident that they got her and they got the right person. Grandma needs to come to grips with that and snap back out of it, because it's that level of thinking that probably caused your daughter to be an irresponsible human being in the first place, and it cost you your granddaughter, and that was going to cost you your daughter. This little baby could not speak for herself, nor could she defend herself against the tyranny of her own damn mother. And I'm sorry that this came to such a bloody end, that this baby was found in a trash bag. This princess deserves so much better than that. And please understand, us here at the AFC, we advocate for children first. So if you get mad about what I said in this story, then your heart and your mind is not in the right place. Please remember, this baby and so many others are losing their lives because we're not putting them as a priority. Please make sure y'all put these children first. To this young baby, young princess, R.I.P. She deserves so much better. Thank y'all for listening with an open mind as well as an open heart. Thank you.